Hello and welcome to the Life Guidance Network. I'm your host, Krista Kane, and this is my guest, Lindsay, who has been in the hot seat for the last few days here as we go through some of these videos. As promised in an earlier video, I want to talk to you today about your investments, managing your investments. And you might see that and say, well, what does this have to do with money? Nothing and everything. So, investments. Now, you at one point had IRAs, 401ks,
all the Ks, all the investment, college funds, like life investments, all kinds of stuff.
Right.
So now,
and why do we have those? Why do we invest? Why do we invest our money? And whether it's, let's just say, stock market, retirement funds, whatever, maybe you invest in a business, maybe you invest in a person. You do that with the hope of a return, right?
a return, and then for me it was like building for the future and stability and I guess stability and security. So
But you wouldn't have the stability and security if there was no return.
Right. That's true.
So let's say even CDs, money markets, it's all about annuities, all about investing with the hope of a return.
But today you're going to talk about the emotional bank.
Today we are talking about the emotional
bank.
investments, what we invest in emotionally. It's fascinating because even all people who watch their money strategically, they place their money strategically and invest it strategically for that return. When it comes to their heart, to their emotions, to their lives, to their well-being, we just throw out investments and get no return. And what do we so often do? We continue to reinvest or invest. Now, I want to talk about this in terms of relationships. And it doesn't matter if it's a familial relationship, if it's a friendship, if it's a romantic relationship. We have to have some anticipation of return. Because what is the golden rule, right? You treat others the way you would like to be treated, correct? So have you ever had that guy? Or that friend?
Let's start with my friends. I'll tell you, so go ahead.
Okay. You ever have a friend that you pour yourself into, which is your investment, and not only do you not even get your original investment back, you don't even get a return. You don't even get your 20% or 10% or whatever.
So, yeah, for me, most of my friends since I have been in high school, and I am now 30-something years old. We're celebrating, my birthday again. But most of my friends have been that way, and at the end of the day, I have found, finally, at this phase of my life where I can say, nope. But prior to that, I would go and do all these things for these people because by nature I'm a nurturer and I want to take care of everyone. Mm-hmm. But then at night, when I was tired and I had no other energy left in me and I needed somebody to pick me up and go, here, let me recharge you so you can keep giving, no one was there for me.
Exactly.
Because I didn't force anyone to invest back into me, and then it made me resentful.
Right. You ever have now? Let's take that into into romantic relationships. We've all had this. That guy or that woman that you love so much simply because they draw a breath. Okay, they have to do nothing but have a heartbeat for you to pour your love and attention and affection and devotion into. And what do? Do they give back in that, or do they just take and take and take and then haul ass somewhere?
Usually they take and take and take and haul ass somewhere. Hi, I'm Lindsay. I have life experience.
You know how you have like the 12-step programs? Hi, my name is Krista and I'm alcoholic. We should do like People's Anonymous.
I want to be
Hi, my name is Krista and I'm a person.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. I've been a doormat for 33 years.
No.
I recently stood up the other day and said enough is enough, but before I did that, I called my sponsor, and they told me that I was going to be okay.
Yeah, that's how that would go. That's exactly
my
how
friend called and asked me for $50 the other day. So I called my sponsor because I really wanted to give it to them. My sponsor said no. I told them no, and everything was okay.
And it's fascinating, but we do this. And I want to tell you that the more if this was your money, let's take this guy, and we've all had this person in our lives that we just pour ourselves into, and then they don't pour back. And because they don't pour back, it triggers that abandonment or rejection button
Thing
we talked
that we
about.
all have,
We talked
yep.
about in an earlier video. Because they don't give back, we think we need to do more. Let me do more.
And then they'll want me.
Now, but if that was your money, if you were putting it into the stock market and getting zero return from it, not even getting your principal back, would you throw more money to it?
Absolutely
No.
not.
Hell no, you wouldn't
No.
throw more money to it. You'd be like, all right, I'm getting out of this stock and I'm getting into another one. But we're not as careful when it comes to matters of the heart. Now, if you want to, managing your investments is like managing your expectations. So when we get into a relationship, we're showing people how to treat us. We think we're showing them how to treat us by how we treat them, but we're not. We showed them how to treat us by the way we treat ourselves. If we treat ourselves, if we hold ourselves at the highest value, we have our bar right here. We don't drop it. We're not going to attract people way down here. We're not going to do it. And when we learn to manage our investments, we learn to put energy where it gives a return. Because there's a give and take to all things.
So with that being said, let's give, as from the coach's files, right? The Krista Kane coach's files. So what are 5 ways to, in relationships, whether romantic or whatever, we can do 5 because 5 is a good number.
She likes it because she has 5 fingers on
5
her hand.
fingers.
That's why I always get 5.
It's 5. So 5. What are 5 easy, get a pen and paper ways
Definitely get a pen
to
and paper.
start your relationship right?
Ooh.
To make sure
I love
that the
this.
investment starts from day 1. And so once
Is
there
there any
you go.
wonder she's here?
No,
I
I'm
love
so
this.
serious because it's like, okay, so I just met this new person. We're going to be friends. And I feel like in my life and then in everybody's life, if you think about, friends and relationships and investments, when you meet people, when I met you, you come up to your friend and you have this suitcase full of life experiences and things and you drag it around with you, also known as baggage or luggage. And when I meet my friends, sometimes I go to my friends when I need a place to rest my head and go, man, I am so tired. I am so tired not having anywhere else to go. Can you hold this piece of luggage for me? This is my stress. Can you hold it for me? Just for a few minutes while I go take a deep breath? Sometimes my good friends will invest in me and take it off my hands and go, yeah, I'll hold on to that for you, Lindsay, thank you. And I'll be like, you're the best friend ever. And in return, when they come to me later in life with their problems, they go, this is too much for me to carry. This luggage, this baggage is too heavy. Will you hold it for me?
Right.
And I go, okay. But the only reason that I'm willing to do that is because from day 1 I set that precedent. So for my friends watching from the Coach's Files, please explain to those who have not mastered this yet, by the way, I still struggle, with 5 ways to start this relationship off right. 5 expectations.
Okay, so managing your investments is managing the other person's expectations.
Right.
Meaning, I'm going to show you what you can expect of me, and I'm going to set the bar as to what I can expect of you. So, number 1, don't accept poor behavior.
Okay.
And when you meet someone and you're talking and you're getting to know each other, be real with who you are, with what you've been through, with what you've tolerated in the past. And there are going to be people who are going to want to treat you that way because they believe that you'll accept it. But what's very important is to let them know that you're not that girl anymore, you're not that guy anymore. Look, this is who I was. So because I was who I was, that's not who I am today. And you set the foundation. First of all, a strong foundation is the most important thing. If it's a friendship, if you're looking at a romantic relationship, start first with a friendship because that is so, so, so important. When they behave badly, do not reward that behavior. And we've all done it. He asked me out on a date and then he stood me up, right? So what am I going to do? I'm going to call him, I'm going to text him, I'll make sure he's okay because something must be wrong for him to stand me up. No, he doesn't respect you.
Right.
Okay? So what do? We continue to pour into him. No. That's it. When you do that, it's like rewarding your puppy for urinating on your carpet.
Right, and I'll give you an example in a little bit or two. So from Lindsay's life files, that's relevant. And I learned this from Krista. So I started a new relationship with somebody, And I am still learning, and at the time was still learning what acceptable behavior was. And so I was really, really tired, and he invited me over, and I really didn't want to go. So step one, I should have said no.
Boundaries.
I should have said no. For me, not for him. He wasn't invasive in his invite, but I should have said, I am very tired. I just want to stay here. But I thought, self-sacrificing Lindsay, no. I want to spend time with him, so I will make myself tired, and I will go out on a limb and go meet him. So I went to meet him, and I showed up, and he got a phone call. And I said before I came out, I'm really tired, so I'm not going to stay late. And he got on that call, and that call went on for 15 minutes. At 20 minutes, I stood up, and I left. I didn't say bye. I didn't text. I didn't do anything. I got in my car, and I drove home, and I went to bed. No call, no text, no show. He's texting me at this point. Oh my God, where did you go? Blah, 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 blah. I said nothing. The next day I went to work. I saw him in passing either at work or wherever. Can we talk about it? Not right now, I'm at work.
Yeah.
So I waited an entire day or half day, which was really awkward for me because I'm not one of those people that likes to leave things just kind of hanging. Like I like to address them and move on. And so from day one, later that day, we talked about it and I explained, my time is valuable. My energy is valuable. Mm-hmm. When I went out of my way to come see you, I told you that I was tired. It was extremely disrespectful for you to take that call.
Yes.
You could have taken that call tomorrow morning during your lunch break or whenever. Unless somebody was dying or sick, never again.
Yeah.
Don't do that to
And
me.
can I ask? No, I'm not even going to ask.
You can ask.
Was it an ex he was talking to?
Yeah. And
Ding, ding, ding.
It has never, ever to date, now when we are together, both of us, not just him, neither one of us touches our phones.
And that's how it should be.
Even like at dinner or wherever, we don't touch our phones. I tell my friends, hey, this weekend I am hanging out with insert person's name. And the only exception to that gets made is for my children.
Right.
No questions asked. If my kids call, no questions asked. That is a ground rule that has been set. So for you guys out there, she doesn't just talk gibberish. That was the hardest thing for me to do. But fast forward to X amount of time later, here I am with that expectation set. So one.
And he knows. He knows what you'll tolerate. So
Absolutely.
The first thing is, number one, have a solid foundation and let them know what they can expect of you and what you expect of them.
Okay, that was one. Number two, don't reward the bad behavior.
Don't reward poor behavior. Exercise boundaries, okay?
So important.
Boundaries are like, it's like a boundary says this is where you end and I begin, okay? And that is hugely important. So you have to be willing to exercise boundaries. You set them up. You do your boundaries based on how you wish to feel. Does this feel good? Nope, not doing this. This feel good? Yep. Okay, my boundaries right in between here and here. You set your boundaries up.
And number three.
Well, we said don't reward poor behavior.
Yeah, so set your foundation up correctly. 2, don't reward bad behavior. 3.
Well, don't reward bad behavior kind of goes hand in hand with boundaries.
Okay, with boundaries.
Okay. Number 3 would be, well, I don't think I can even actually give you 5.
Okay, well, we'll
Number
do it as
3
we
would
get out.
be
3.
to address stuff when it comes up.
Yes.
And you know what? I was the guiltiest of anyone at this.
Also me.
Okay? Because it's like, oh, I don't want to fight.
Yes.
I love you. I don't want to fight with you. I don't want to be that nagging winch. I don't want to do that.
And I don't want to be, I'm going to add to you, for me personally, I didn't want to be viewed as weak or vulnerable. I didn't want you to think that if I cried, that meant you could take advantage of me.
Right.
And I bottled up everything, which then turned me into a doormat, because let's go back to boundaries, right?
Yes.
I let you do that to me. I didn't tell you it was
And
okay.
I continued to invest in you after that.
Right, and you continued to show and treat me like Caca del Toro, and I would put up with it, right? And then, so then we get to this part where, oh gosh, I just squirreled, where, that behavior continues and you continue to accept it, but then bringing things to the forefront. So in my new relationship with life, when things go wrong, I don't wait. I may wait a few minutes with myself to make sure that I say things that I actually mean.
Right.
I don't go for the jugular. Also, for us people that like to use technology, I have a rule for you that I would like for you to apply to your lives. It's not her, but it's like my thing. If y'all get into it and you have a disagreement, do not text.
Oh my God.
Because you cannot read text Tone. You can't read tone over text even with emojis. So here's what you do. Here's Lindsay's life guide to addressing it on the
Be
spot.
an adult.
Be an adult and say, hey,
Let's talk now.
let's talk. If I can't talk now, can I talk to you in an hour? Can I talk to you in 40 minutes? In that time that you have, 40 minutes, 10 minutes, 3 minutes, take a deep breath. Write it down. Write it down, whatever is bothering you. Have it out with yourself before you have it out with the
Yes.
other person. And try to see it from both sides. Also, name calling, off limits.
Okay, well, we're kind of like going into fighting
Where
here.
we are, but like even just in heated discussions that
Right.
make people uncomfortable.
Right, but I mean, we're going into that. We're kind of
So we'll
segueing
go
out
back,
of
but
investments.
it's like you know, to go back to communicate, no text messaging over things that are serious or important. So communication and handling things right then and there. And lastly, for today,
Be willing to pull your investment out and put it somewhere else. Be willing to do that. And I've had people say, you know, I've had people on the phone with me, you know, she did this, she's cheating on me, she's doing this, she's spending all the money, I'm the only one who works. And I'm like, walk away. Oh, but I want her. Wait a minute. So what you're really telling me is I want to continue to invest in something that is giving me zero return, maybe not even zero, maybe negative
numbers.
return. Exactly. So be willing to pull your investment and put it somewhere else. Be willing to, because you'll be so surprised at how much the other person will step up their game when you have stated your boundaries, when you stop rewarding poor behavior or throwing good investment after bad, and when you're willing to pull the investment. You'll be amazed at how much someone will go, okay, whoa, you totally have my attention here.
Yep, and I'm going to give you guys something to think about that just occurred to me as she was talking about emotional investments, which also translates to emotional banks, which also translates to life, right? Emotional investments and life is like, there's a life stock market, and the difference between the life stock market of having all these highs and lows is like on Wall Street and banking. You're not really in control of any of that.
Right.
This you are 110% in charge of. So please take control of your own life and relationships because you are responsible for how these play out.
You definitely are.
You're at least 50% responsible. So
Well, you're 100% responsible. And here's
that's true. for
Here's
yourself.
one more thing I want to add to this. And I have to say this to coaching clients. I've had to say it more than a handful of times, and I almost like cringe when I do because I know it's going to sting. Someone's only going to hurt you once. If they hurt you beyond that, they're not hurting you. You're hurting you.
Because you allow it to
Because you allow it to continue. I know who he is, and I continue to expect him to be something other than that. Therefore, he's not hurting me, I'm hurting me. So, I am the one who is throwing my investment away.
So I have one more question for you before we go.
I have an answer,
So
I hope.
Yes, you do. So from the Coach's Files, not really from the Coach's Files, but so we were starting to build this network and people are starting to take an interest already in what's going on. If people want to reach out to you and ask you questions, or maybe they're interested in coaching with you one-on-one, how do they get in contact with you? How do they
That
reach
is
out
such
to you?
a darn good question.
Because it's like, oh, at this point, we've provided content for you guys. We're starting to talk. I'm seeing people that are curious about what we're up to. So how do they reach out to you?
You can call me at area code 615-601-0935. You can text that same number.
Can you also email you?
You can email
Okay.
me at Krista at KristaKane.com.
Awesome.
That's, do I need to spell it, or they have the spelling?
Nah, you guys should know how to spell it. If not, I'll drop it in the comments.
Krista at KristaKaine.com. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's do this. Let's invite people to email in or
Yeah.
text in questions that you would like answered. And what is today? Today is Sunday. What's the date? Do you have your Apple
I
Watch?
think it is.
thingy?
It's the 10th of February.
Okay, it's the 10th of February. Let's collect these till let's say the 20th of February. See how many we can collect, and I'll put this on Facebook as well.
Okay.
And I will do a video
Answering questions.
answering questions, specifically just questions and answers. Okay? I don't want to talk about your actual money investments because that's not my gig. That's not my area of expertise. But when it comes to relationships and people and how to navigate your way through them, I'm the one to call. If it's your money, call Charles Schwab. All right.
Awesome.
Like, subscribe, follow,
Comments.
comment. I'd love to
Yes.
hear your comments. You could even ask your questions on comment here, and I will come back in 10 days from now, and I will do another video answering everyone's questions. So, thank you for joining me. I'm Krista Kane, signing off.